Start in Iraq, where the offensive to retake the country's second largest city from ISIL moves into its 11th day. The march to Mosul is being led by Kurdish Peshmerga forces and the Iraqi military. They're being assisted by US-led coalition airstrikes. In the last week and a half, they've liberated around 90 villages near Mosul. Natalie Carney is inside Iraq and has this report from Erbil.
As the fighting escalates around Mosul, more people are attempting to escape the grip of ISIL, as Iraqi special forces moved more than 1,000 civilians out of villages and towns.
I
left from Shura and we walked through various towns. We traveled at night and came upon security forces who then brought us here.
An Iraqi commander says ISIL has been withdrawing from the town of Shura towards Mosul, taking civilians with them to use as human shields and leaving behind explosive devices to slow the advances of the Iraqi forces. Meanwhile, on the outskirts of Mosul, Peshmerga fighters have retaken the village of Derk. They also found a tunnel containing a large number of weapons in the area. One leader said a plane targeted a group of militant suicide bombers trying to advance.
The villages one step at a time because some of them still have civilians in them, which makes our job more difficult. We did not want to enter the village and create clashes which could hurt civilians.
New refugees also arrived at an Iraqi humanitarian camp northeast. The International Organization for Migration says around 9,000 people have been displaced since the operation to retake Mosul began in mid-October. And around 500 federal police officers have also joined the forces moving towards Mosul. On the diplomatic front, U.S. Defense Secretary Ash Carter said the fight to oust ISIL from its self-declared Syrian capital Raqqa could get underway in the next few weeks and overlap with the offensive to liberate Mosul, about 450 kilometers away. He said it will be conducted by Syrians enabled by the U.S.
That's our general strategic approach, because we're seeking the lasting defeat of ISIL. And a lasting defeat of ISIL can't be achieved by outsiders.
According to the United Nations, there have been reports of ISIL executing civilians, including a physically disabled child, struggling to keep up. Perhaps a sign that Islamic State militants are feeling the pressure of approaching coalition forces. Natalie Carney for CCTV in Erbil, Iraq.